Hello everyone, this is Claudia and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to do one of my favorite pieces so far, which is like a big floral piece. I've done this over several days and it just started very innocently as an ink drawing. I didn't know where it will take me, and in the end I made it into one awesome flower piece. At least I think it's awesome. Anyway. Happy? Did you find it, Han? I was like, he's snoring. He doesn't think it was fun at all. He was like, what is Bobby talking here? No. I started really bold with yellows and oranges for this piece, and initially I drew this over a period of a few hours. I was just watching some TV shows in the background. I was sitting on my couch and I had the pad in my lap and I just started drawing this. These are just some simple flowers that I know how to draw for a very long time. I've been drawing these flowers and I've been practicing them for quite a while at this point, so I didn't need any sketch, I didn't need anything, I just drew them. And if I'm not mistaken, it took me about 4 hours to finalize just the ink drawing. And then these ink drawings stood in my drawer for quite a while, and like just a few months later I rediscovered it and I decided to just watercolor it. And there are several reasons for this. First of all, let's start with why was I drawing like that and why was I drawing while watching TV. And this is an interesting story because it all started with me having a little bit of a breakdown a few years ago, like about 2 years back. I had a very big breakdown, and I couldn't do anything. So I was out of work for quite a few months because I just couldn't work anymore. I had to work on myself and I had to have, lots of therapy and lots of talks. And part of the therapy was in order for me to heal, or for anybody to heal from this sort of like burnout kind of episodes, is actually to do something with your hands. It turns out that doing something very creative, besides the usual things that they advised me to do, which was go and have a walk every day, because apparently walking is just eliminating all the stress hormones. So they were advising to just do something with my hands every day, either drawing or anything that might take my mind off things. So what I started doing together with the therapist is just whenever I was feeling like it, whenever I was having the energy, this doesn't come naturally, right? This doesn't come always. If you're in that state, it might take you a few months until you can actually start doing this, but no pressure whatsoever. I would just start drawing and doing things in front of the TV or whenever I had. The goal was not think about it, not have any interruptions whatsoever, just let my mind wander and do anything that I want on the paper. This particular composition turned out like this, and by this I mean that in any direction that you're looking at, it just looks like the flowers are going that direction, simply because I was paying no mind to composition or to anything. I was just drawing flowers. I started in the middle and I went towards the edges, and this is how it all turned. Later on, the idea was not to even color this in. The idea was just drawing is enough for me. But afterwards, when I was feeling a lot better, I've decided that I can also try to color it in. I didn't have the idea back then to post on YouTube. I think that was something that both my family and my therapist were a bit against, because it is a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure to post on YouTube and to put yourself out there, and I can understand that. However, I didn't want to lose the footage, so I just set up my camera with the thinking of I will just keep it in Google Drive forever, even if I don't post it, even if it never reaches the light of day. And I just started watercoloring it. And the way I do it, and even nowadays the way I do it, is I don't need to listen to anything. I don't need to actually have music in the background. I don't need to talk with anybody. While I'm creating, I'm taking the time to only focus on this task, to let my mind wander, because this is very important in any healing process. My mind wanders. So it turned out that it took a long time to color this one in. I believe almost an entire day. It's quite intricate, and at the end of the day I realized that I was sitting on the chair with no sound whatsoever in the room, nobody in there, just me and the drawing for hours and hours. It can be very therapeutic, and I think this is one of the ideas of such a doodle, of such a, let's say, coloring page. So even if you don't know how to draw it, I do believe that there is a point in all of these adult coloring pages and so on, and the idea is to not let your mind be overwhelmed by like watching TV or listening to music or podcasts, because your mind needs to be free. Just let it not do anything. And this is something that I really enjoy nowadays, just sitting there and letting my mind wander. Even after I went back to work, I'm still doing this, and I really see the benefits. Of course, there's many things going in around recovering from a burnout, and this is just one simple thing. And it doesn't have to be watercolor. It can be anything that you're doing with your hands, because apparently then your brain focuses on what your hands is doing, and it just kind of cools down by itself. It's very interesting how it turned out. On this particular piece, I was just trying out colors. I didn't have a plan. I didn't think. I just wanted to have some nice shading, and I was just playing around. I almost turned into, let's try all the colors I have on my palette and do things. I was leaving the leaves at the end because those are all one color, and I was just trying to watercolor and just have some fun with it, right? I didn't have any intention of framing this one. This will eventually turn into a gift for my mother. It was just something to get my mind out of the normal troubles of the day. But one other more important thing to know whenever you're dealing with this type of problems like burnout or even depression is much harder than burnout. Okay, I'm not going to do any comparison between the two, but any problems that you might have where you are a little bit disconnected and not at your peak capacity, it's important to not force yourself to do things. So over the course of maybe last 3 years, I didn't force myself to do these tiny projects or big projects. I only did it when I really was in a mood, and sometimes I felt pressure. I felt pressure to create. I felt pressure to go online and to post something on social media or YouTube. I was like, wow, I have this channel and I haven't posted in so long. I haven't done anything, and in the end, the goal is what matters. And the goal was for me to get out of that state stronger and not to go back in. So as hard as it might seem, I just took a break and I just did things whenever I felt like it. And sometimes for weeks I wasn't doing any art or anything other than just doodles on paper, not even worth sharing or anything. Sometimes I would just draw lines, like trying to draw circles or squiggly lines or anything. Wasn't necessarily following a script, and that helped me to learn that in the past I would always underestimate the amount of time I was putting in everything, the amount of time I was putting in my videos, because it does take an enormous amount of time to make these videos. It does take an enormous amount of time to make these big illustrations. And I was always thinking, tomorrow I need to post something on YouTube, so I'll just do this. And in my mind, it would have only taken an hour or so. But like 10 hours down the line, you realize that, oh no, wait, this is not like, there's no end in sight. So although I did film this one quite a while ago, it's still an important part of the process. But it's still an important part of what I wanted to achieve when I decided to come back to YouTube. I've decided that I will post all the ones that I filmed before because they are important and they're quite nice. It shows my progression. But I will try new videos or feature videos to not make them as long and to not make them such big illustrations. Because it just takes a lot of time and a lot of pressure to edit them and to do all this stuff. So I said that if I wanted to do something longer, I will just do live streaming. And it's fine to do live streaming because that is the point when you're actually making bigger progress and bigger pieces. And at least I wouldn't have to edit all of that, and I wouldn't have to spend the same amount of hours as you spend actually watercoloring or inking such a big piece into editing. So it's very important to pace yourself and to know your own limits, to know how long something takes, and to put yourself some goals. So for all my next videos that I'm going to film, probably starting next year, because I have enough footage for this year to last me like the entire year, I will be very strict on the amount of time that I'm spending on this and the amount of time on every piece. I will try not to overextend myself because I really don't want to get back into that state of not being able to do anything, not being able to wake up, or sometimes not being able to sleep for days. I just want to enjoy my art and do things. So I hope that this video brings you a little bit of peace. I find it sometimes therapeutic to just watch it. It's really nice. And the funny part is, this been more than a year since I did this video, and my style has changed in a year quite a lot. You might have noticed that I do flowers a little bit different, like on my last Inktober videos I did quite different flowers, and it's funny how to see the progression and to see how things are moving in the right direction. I am not doing these videos other than for the reason that I want them to be out there. I want people to see them, and I want them to be proof that I exist and that I've been here and that I've done something, I've created something. And this is why I'm doing these videos. And of course the secondary reason is for my mom, because in these difficult times my mother is really yeah, in lockdown, because she's a cancer patient and she's not allowed to get out. So well, I'm doing this for her as well, so she can watch me and she can hear me sometimes, and just have a little fun. I will try to not go over every explanation. I am trying to keep things also consistent in the videos and in the color schemes. But I'm gonna leave you with some music and I'll see you at the end of the video. Thank you so much. everyone, thank you so much for sticking until the end. I know it was a longer video than usual. However, I believe it was an important process for me to share. Some of my videos can take up to 12 hours to film, and some of the bigger pieces do take that long to watercolor because you do need to wait until all the layers are dry, and it just takes a long time. There are many details in a piece like this. Of course, I'm always happy to have you watch until the end, and if you really liked it and want to see more of this kind of content, please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. I try to answer all of the comments that I have. If you want to see more of this and want to be notified whenever new content comes online, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell button. If you are in a journey and you would like to continue this journey with me, I have a couple of videos that might be interesting because they are in the same style or something completely different from what I used to do. However, thank you so much for watching so far. I hope to see you next time in a similar format. So, goodbye.